It is another gorgeous, gorgeous day in Cape Town. We have keys. We have keys somewhere. There we go. One day this car's not gonna start. So one of the bigger projects that we're working on at the moment inside Rocking is like when we started off, gosh, what's it now? 6 years ago. We just kind of bought internet from another ISP, laid a bit of cable in an area, started connecting people and reselling internet that way, which is not like a wrong way to do it, but it's not a necessarily scalable model. Problem is, like, so much of our infrastructure, so much of our network is so ingrained in the way that we did things back then, and as we've kind of grown as an ISP, we stepped about a year or two ago. We stepped into our own AS number. We're now buying transit and peering on exchanges rather than just kind of buying internet from an ISP. So it's quite different to the way we used to do it. The downside of all of that is there's quite a lot of work to be done in untangling some of the stuff we did like way in the beginning. Like there's a lot of stuff there that we're quite dependent on, and as a result it makes it a bit tricky for us to kind of just turn stuff off and kind of move on in a new direction. So one of the overarching projects for us is kind of untangling all this stuff. There's a lot of client migration work involved, there's a lot of infrastructure migration work involved, and today is pretty much going to be a whole bunch of that stuff. Like we're literally we've got a list of things, we need to migrate these clients, we need to migrate this infrastructure. There's a lot of thought and a lot of planning involved, so you can't just like turn stuff off either, you know. So heading to the daily, Eggs Benedict coffee, meeting with Andre, and planned infrastructure migration projects. Right, so meeting done. That was a long meeting. It's like 2 o'clock. I got there at like 9:30, had breakfast. Andre arrived about 10-15 minutes later. There's a lot happening. there's wow. So migration projects are interesting because there's so many interdependencies. Like you can't just do this one thing without doing like different things rely on each other. The entire way the internet is built and the entire way the internet is put together means like one component relies quite heavily on like another component. So you can't just like turn one thing off or change something without like 7 other things breaking. So you kind of have to systematically start on one side, change things. You also have to end up buying. Migration services are expensive because you end up buying multiple services all at the same time, not because you need more capacity or you need multiple links, but just you kind of have to buy the new one before you can move all the old stuff. So you end up carrying like costs for more than 1 month, for more than one service for more than 1 month, because like how quickly can you migrate stuff? There's a lot of client visits involved. So all in all, it's quite tricky actually. Trying to get all the bits and the pieces together so that we can end up kind of handing off new services to new clients and terminating some of the old stuff. We're also like spending a lot of time chatting about and thinking about the future of Rocking. Like being in tech, like one of the upsides of being in tech is like stuff moves quickly and there's a lot of cool stuff out there. The downside of being in tech is that stuff moves quickly and there's a lot of cool stuff out there. So you can't just like have a business model and go like, well, this is the thing that we do and we're just going to do this thing for the next like 10 years and our customers will be happy, because what we're doing now in comparison to what we were doing. Actually, let me give you a good example. When we started rocking our very first link, and this is going back 6 years, we were the very first fiber provider in Steenberg. Like, quite literally, we were the first guys to pull fiber in there and reticulate throughout the buildings. We pulled the fiber in, and we were paying 20 grand a month for an uncapped 20 meg link. That's what we had, and we were selling it at like 4, 5, 6 meg increments. So 20 grand for 20 megs, that's 1,000 rand for 1 megabit per second. You can, granted fiber at home, you can buy a fiber to the home link for 1,000 rand and you will get 100 megabits per second. That means the internet has gotten 100 times cheaper in the last 6 years. And there's like a whole bunch of things that happen in there, like the capacity that everybody's buying, the networks that are being built, the infrastructure that's being put in place. This stuff has to move at like an incredible pace to kind of keep up with the demand and kind of keep up with those pricing points. And I saw yesterday there's a new ISP in the market, that'll be a damn, forget the name now, but they're offering 100 megs for $8.95. So like, it's becoming a bit of a race to the bottom as well. So the one big question for us is, do we want to play in that space? Is that what we want to do? Do we stay in the consumer market? Home users are, you know, how much money do you make off an 895 rand a month link, right? Do we focus on the business market? Which is primarily where we are at the moment. Where in the business market do we fit in? Because, you know, like, some businesses literally just need internet. Other businesses need really complex internet infrastructure and complex setups, and so like there's a lot of fragmentation in the market. There's a lot of stuff that's changing, and we really are just trying to figure out like where do we want to be, like what is the thing that we want to do in the connectivity space. So that was mostly what this morning was all about. So nothing terribly exciting happening today. I am on my way into town. I'm going to a finance meeting where I sit down with another business partner and we go through the accounts. We make sure everything's paid and organized and sorted, and it's the kind of things you have to do. Like, everybody's like, oh, you're on the internet, you know, like such an interesting business, and like a lot of what we do is fascinating and is interesting, and a lot of what we do is well, running a business, you have to do accounts, you have to do planning, you have to reply to emails. It's dull and boring and kind of mindless, but it's got to be done. So I'm on my way to town to take care of that, and then I will be, as soon as I'm in town, I might as well go find something interesting to do somewhere. So finance meeting, and then who the hell knows what else. The finance meeting is done, and this is the part of like documenting your day with a vlog like this is can get quite tricky, because a finance meeting is relatively confidential. Andre doesn't mind being on camera, but some people do. So I can't take a camera into every meeting. I can't kind of just walk in and film everything, even if like there's no audio recording or it's like a time lapse like I did this morning. It gets quite tricky. I also can't always expose people's addresses or where they live. You kind of need to be sensitive about what you put on camera and what you put on the internet. So there was a meeting. It was about 3 hours. Anyways, right now I'm pulling into the waterfront. I decided to come out here. It's been a while since I've shot time lapses, so I've just decided that tonight I'm going to find some food at the waterfront, because man, I'm starving, and then I'm just going to shoot a bunch of time lapses at the waterfront. I haven't done that in a very, very long time. So yep, we can queue up a whole bunch of time lapses, and that's pretty much going to conclude this video. If you have any kind of interest in my dull and boring life, click the subscribe link below. There's a link to Rocking's website. You can go check us out. As I said, we're about to make a whole bunch of cool changes, so hang 10 for that. And then yep, I'll see you tomorrow.